Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. All praise is to Allah, the Creator of the universes and their Sustainer, the Provider of believers and unbelievers, and may His choicest blessings be on the seal of His prophets, the last of His messengers, and His holy progeny. When Yazid, as we discussed in the last discussion, sought bay'ah from Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and he refused. He didn't refuse in so many words, but he refused by his conduct. Imam Hussein alayhi salam decided that the best way to deal with this question is to walk away from it. And so he decided he would move from Medina to Makkah and be in the house of Allah, because man dakhalahu amina. Quran says that he who enters the sanctuary of Allah, glorified and exalted, receives aman from Allah. And so he decided to take that step. Now that is a vital matter in the entire context of the history of Karbala, which I wish to take a few minutes to discuss today, because today the allegation has shown its face again that the Battle of Karbala was only a battle of a political nature. It was a political battle. That is how it has recently been put again. This is an old accusation, one that has been hallowed by time and been replied to again and again, that it almost became mundane to talk about whether the Battle of Karbala was a political one or in the approach of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, entirely a spiritual one. But as this subject has again been raised, I wish to take this opportunity in these discussions to deal with it as and when opportunity arises. And one can see that the initial step Imam Hussein alayhi salam takes when this question arises is not to go to the Madanites and gather an army. This was done before. You will recall that when Aisha, the widow of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny, marched against Imam Ali alayhi salam in what is called the Battle of Jamal, Imam Ali alayhi salam, finding it difficult to raise an army immediately, sent Imam Hassan alayhi salam to Kufa. And in no time, a large army was gathered, which marched to Basra and fought. The people of Basra fought the army of Aisha in Basra, and ultimately that fitna was totally crushed by Imam Ali alayhi salam. Imam Hussein alayhi salam could have done likewise, to raise an army and move out to fight Yazid, and there would have been a huge battle in its true sense. But what does he do? He does not instigate anybody. He does not go and tell the Madanites, look, Yazid is seeking for allegiance from me. Are you prepared to take arms and fight with me? He did not go and make that appeal even once. Indeed, what he decided was exactly the contrary to it. He decided he would move away from Medina so that Walid could not call him back and ask for bay'ah, so that he would not have to say no in so many words, and avoid friction altogether. That was the policy of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, to avoid friction, to avoid fitna, and not to have blood of Muslims spilled. And that is why one finds that in the whole of the Battle of Karbala, whilst Yazid brought thousands of Muslims, so-called Muslims, people who called themselves Muslims, he brought thousands of them to come and fight on his side, to come to Karbala and kill the grandson of the Holy Prophet, only so that Yazid could accumulate all the power. Imam Hussein alayhi salam did exactly the opposite. He told the people, as we will discuss, I hope in a little more detail, he told the people who were with him that he was out to make a sacrifice, that he was not out for booty, and if those people joined him in the hope that they will get booty, they should depart from him. And they did. 1,000 of them left him in no time. But we will come to that. But one can see that at every step and stage of this episode, Imam Hussein alayhi salam took a role of reconciliation, a role in which the blood of Muslims is not spilled. And you can therefore see the spiritual angle from which Imam Hussein alayhi salam tackled this issue. When he spoke to his brother Muhammad al-Hanafiya, his younger brother, son of Imam Ali alayhi salam, through another a lady from the Hanafiya tribe, and mentioned to him that Yazid was seeking bay'ah from him, Muhammad ibn Hanafiya immediately said, "Oh my brother, you cannot make bay'ah of Yazid." And Imam Hussein alayhi salam says, "Oh brother, I know this too well and seek no help from you in that respect. But what am I to do?" So Muhammad ibn Hanafiya says, "What are you planning to do?" And Imam Hussein alayhi salam says, "I am planning to leave Makkah, to leave Medina and proceed towards Makkah." And Muhammad ibn Hanafiya says, "I will come with you." And Imam Hussein alayhi salam says, "No brother, I want you to remain behind. I am moving. I'll take Abbas alayhi salam along with me, and I'll take Zainab alayha salam with me, and the ladies of the family." And Muhammad ibn Hanafiya says, "No brother, you must not do this, because the Umayyads have vengeance against the Hashemites. They will make every move and take every opportunity to humiliate our ladies, and they will be subjected to torture. Indeed, it will be unbearable for them. If you do not want to take me along with you, then leave the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the ladies of the family of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny, with me. And I undertake, guarantee, that I will look after them, and I will see that no harm comes to them." And Imam Hussein alayhi salam says, "I will give that a thought." When he mentions to Abdullah bin Ja'far, his cousin, of his intention to leave Medina and proceed towards Makkah, and talks of taking Zainab alayha salam, the wife of Abdullah bin Ja'far, and the other ladies of the family with him, he says exactly that. Leave them behind. Abdullah bin Ja'far was then sick. He could not have traveled. He said, "I will remain behind in Medina, and I will look after the family, and I give you my assurance that I will look after them as well as you have been looking after them." But Imam Hussein alayhi salam does not get contented or satisfied with it. Indeed, to Abdullah bin Ja'far he even says, "Sha'Allah an yarahunna sabaya." It is in the will of Allah that he should see them imprisoned. Well, it was important to bring this home to Abdullah bin Ja'far, whose wife was coming along. But Zainab alayha salam, when she learnt that bay'ah was sought, herself that very night at midnight goes to the house of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and says to his brother, "Oh brother, what did Walid want?" And when Imam Hussein alayhi salam says he wants bay'ah from me for Yazid, maybe Zainab alayhi salam does not ask Imam Hussein alayhi salam whether he was going to do the bay'ah. She turns around and says, "But brother, you cannot make bay'ah of Yazid. He will annihilate Islam." And Imam Hussein alayhi salam says, "I haven't, and I do not intend to." Maybe Zainab alayhi salam asks, "What do you intend to do?" He says, "I'm leaving the graveside of my grandfather. I'm leaving the graveside of my mother, maybe Fatima Zahra alayhi salam, and I'm proceeding away to Makkah to start with." To pause here, let me intervene one reality. Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, Abdullah bin Ja'far, Bibi Zainab alayha salam, they all must have known what is in the waiting. Because the episode of Karbala was described by the Holy Prophet himself, peace be upon him and his progeny. And in that majlis in which the Holy Prophet described what was going to happen in Karbala to Hussein alayhi salam and the family and the ladies, the Zakir, the Khatib, was the Holy Prophet himself, peace be upon him and his progeny. The companions were the listeners of this majlis, and they all wept on hearing this. Indeed, this was revealed by Jibreel immediately Imam Hussein alayhi salam was born. And these ahadith are contained in books of all Muslim historians. Indeed, when Imam Ali alayhi salam was returning from Siffin, he stopped at Karbala and held a majlis. And at that majlis, Imam Ali alayhi salam himself was the zakir and the khatib. He was the reciter, the preacher, and the companions who had gone to fight in Siffin were the listeners. They wept and cried over what will happen to Hussein alayhi salam at a time when Hussein alayhi salam himself was sitting in that majlis. So this episode was not something new to Zainab, I'm sure. Muhammad ibn Hanafiya was in Siffin. So was Abdullah bin Ja'far. So they must have heard it all and must have known it all. But Imam Hussein alayhi salam decided that I will leave for Karbala, for Makkah to start with. To Zainab alayhi salam, he speaks in a different vein. He says, Zainab, you know what is going to happen to us. Our mother has discussed this episode both with you and with me. I am making a list of the people who will come with me to Karbala. So you can see that this list was hand-picked by Imam Hussein alayhi salam of the males that will accompany him. Not anybody would have been sufficient for this trip. It was a trip that was being prepared to save Islam, to save every tenet of Islam, and to ensure that every prohibition remains a prohibition ila yawmiddin. Halalu Muhammadin remains halal ila yawmuddin, and haramu Muhammadin remains haram to the day of judgment. Yazid was not going to get one opportunity to make halal that which Allah glorified and exalted made haram, or to make haram that which Allah glorified and exalted made halal. And so he says, I will handpick those people so that only those people and the blood of those people is involved in saving Islam who truly loved Islam and who had in their hearts the love of Islam. The blood that circulated in their heart was mixed with love of Islam. That was the blood that Hussein alayhi salam needed to save Islam in Karbala. And so he handpicked that group himself. And inshallah, we will have opportunity when we discuss the martyrdom of this group to discuss the saintliness of each one of these companions who gave his life in Karbala. That was the kind of group that Imam Hussein alayhi salam picked, and then turns to Bibi Zainab alayhi salam and says, Zainab, likewise, I would like you to make a schedule of the women who will accompany you. You will be their spearhead. You will lead this group, so make sure you have in that group people whom you would like to see in that group. People who have in their hearts and souls the love of Islam. The people dedicated to the preservation and sanctity of Islam, so that they are able to bear the atrocities that will be meted out to them with the patience that this sort of test and trial will demand. It will be testing time for them. It will be time that will be not easy to bear. So choose people, choose ladies who will be able to confront these enemies of Islam, and so that through their sabr, through their patience, Islam will survive. Glorified are the words of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam in reply to this request of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They are golden words that have remained in the golden threads of history till today. She says, "O my brother Hussein, I will show such patience that patience itself will be astonished by my patience." That is the level of patience of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam. And true to her words, she demonstrated such patience that 14 centuries later, we are not able to find another example in history of a lady who bore all those atrocities with the patience that Bibi Zainab alayhi salam exhibited all the way. Indeed, when they were in Mosul, now being moved from Kufa to Damascus, when they were in Mosul, the people in Mosul told the governor of Mosul, when he asked them to celebrate the coming of this group, told the governor of Mosul, we will not celebrate. We have heard what Zainab alayhi salam has said in the bazaars of Kufa, and we have know what Zainab alayhi salam is going through. We will not celebrate. We will welcome them with majlises, with matam, with marsiyas, and we will kill every one of those who participated in the killing of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And indeed, these majalises that we hold till today are a glorification of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam. She held these majalises all the way through. After the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when Yazid saw the evil of what he had perpetrated, and calls Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam saying, Ya Ali ibn Hussein, I want to release you all, you can go. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam says, Yazid, this is not a decision in my hands. I will go and consult my aunt Zainab alayhi salam. And when he comes to consult his aunt Zainab alayhi salam, this is the Imam of the time coming to consult his aunt, Baby Zainab says, tell Yazid, we will not go like this. Since the martyrdom of my brother, I have not been able to mourn his martyrdom. Let a house be set out for 7 days, so that we sit and weep over Hussein alayhi salam. Because every time we were thinking of weeping over him and shed our tears, we would be whipped by Yazid. May Allah's curse be upon him. Our little children, the children of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, would be whipped by Shimr only for weeping on their father. Well, we have not had the chance to mourn them. Let that house be set aside for 7 days. That house was indeed set aside at the orders of Yazid, the very person who ordered the killing of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. May I say, the very person who ordered the murder of Hussein alayhi salam ordered the mourning of Hussein alayhi salam in that very palace in which the order for the murder of Hussein alayhi salam was issued. And in that mourning, Bibi Zainab alayhi salam set out the history of Karbala, told the people exactly what happened, and hence was able to tell the truth to the people of Damascus. Imam Hussein alayhi salam was always cautious that after his martyrdom, Yazid will try and cover up the death of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in a way in which Muslims would not even know how Hussein alayhi salam died. And yet, Imam Hussein alayhi salam wanted to stop Yazid from succeeding in that ploy. Today we know the importance of media. Imam Hussein alayhi salam knew the importance of media in those days. He therefore took his own media entourage. This group of ladies and children which followed him moved from Karbala to Kufa, spreading the message of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Talked about it in the bazaars of Kufa and in the court of Kufa. Talked about it at every station at which they stopped between Kufa and Damascus, and spoke about it in the court of Damascus, spoke about it in these 7 days of majalis that Bibi Zainab alayhi salam held. It became well nigh impossible for Marwan and his company, for the Umayyad Caliphs, for Yazid, for the Abbasid Caliphs to put any cover on Karbala. Karbala remained enshrined for the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And that credit is taken by Bibi Zainab alayhi salam. She conducted the media spirit in such an effective and conclusive way that the martyrdom of Karbala has not been able to be concealed by the politicians who would well have wished to do so. Karbala remains the glorification of Islam till today. Till today, come Ashura, millions of mourners are in Karbala to mourn Hussein alayhi salam. Come Arba'in, that is what one sees again. We saw the mourning of Imam Hussein alayhi salam by the visitation of Zawars during Arafah and the Eid that followed Arafah. All this of greatest importance, because in the mourning of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the survival of Islam is ensured. The glorification of Allah, glorified and exalted, is ensured. We remember Allah through remembering Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because to the last he remembered Allah. That Fajr prayer on the day of Ashura was monumental. Those arrows that came and swept over those who were reciting Salatul Dhuhr on the day of Ashura was a shining example that has not been replicated. And indeed, his Asr prayer, when he gave his life to save Islam, ensured that that Asr prayer will remain forever. And hence that surah of great significance, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Wal Asr, Innal Insana Lafi Khusr, Illa Alladhina Amanu wa Amilu Salihat, wa Tawasaw bil Haqq, wa Tawasaw bil Sabr. Those wasiyah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam relating to Haqq and to Sabr. May Allah glorify that martyrdom and keep us obedient to the rules of Allah through the remembrance of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.